This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Live show. It is Thursday. We got 4 games here on the DraftKings main slate. Grande did your playbook for today. That is out. James, 4 games, man. How we doing?
Doing well. 4 games, like pretty interesting games. We got some news in the middle of the day. That was the only news that we've gotten because we basically know, like, hey, nobody's playing tonight. So, yeah, it's an interesting slate. Excited to get into it.
Do we think Tyrese Maxey plays today?
I mean, it is interesting he popped. Still listed probable, so I have no reason to think he doesn't. But, like, my expectation is in seeing that we're going to get the floor minutes that we got the other day, where he randomly played 34 minutes and we're like, this isn't a back-to-back. This isn't a, like, third game in 4 nights. This isn't, like, I still have no reason to think he wouldn't play, but I do think that we don't get 40 minutes, which is obviously one of his superpowers when, you know, that's part of the allure to Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, and they're not on a front leg here either. So they do have tomorrow off. So if there
this is the second leg.
This is the second. That's true. Yeah, they played last night. Good point. So I guess we'll see, right? But obviously he's 10-3. The top 2 price guys are out in Wemby and Giannis. That leaves Harden as your only 10K play. Harden, as I mentioned, is 10K. You have Fox at $9,300. It's a slate, as you mentioned to Keith on the previous show. I think he called it like the Red Wave or something like that. It was just a whole bunch of.
Well, no, the Red Wave is something completely different that I wouldn't be talking about. The Red Sea.
Okay, the Red Sea.
Red Sea. Red Wave, Red Sea. 2 different.
Well, I mean, it's sort of the same deal in terms of the fact that it is a red symbol of out, right?
Yes.
So, like, the Red Sea then of outness here at the point guard position. So it is a small slate. We often talk small slates that we do look sometimes for raw points. Harden gets Orlando at 10K. You have Fox at 93 against Atlanta. Are you interested in spending up at either of these 2 spots today?
Yes. I would play them both. I would rank them as priced. I think Harden's ahead of De'Aaron Fox, in my opinion. It's a worse game. Atlanta, San Antonio is definitely the better game than Clippers, Orlando. But there is basically nobody on the slate that can kind of like match the numbers that James Harden has without Kawhi and friends that are out, right? They have like
72, 87, 60 in 3 of the last 5.
Yeah, and just like without, like, just when you're looking at, you know, the fantasy production in more depth, it's 127 minutes this year without Leonard, Beal, Jones, and Miller. He has a 36.5% usage rate. That's up over 7%, and is at 1.5 fantasy points per minute. Like, you just don't get that, you know, like that stuff is just hard to find. So as you mentioned, like, you're just looking for raw points. I don't know if anyone has raw points currently, because right now, like, you know, we'll see about what happens in Atlanta. Obviously, that's something that matters. But right now, if you're assuming Porzingis is in, you know, I even did the math in the playbook, and we'll get to the Jalen Johnson math in a little bit.
Sure.
But like 1.5 fantasy points a minute, Harden's like approaching 40 minutes nightly. You know, like in competitive games, that's Tyronn Lue was like, man, gotta look for get some time off for James. And I sent you the link, and then he played 37 minutes on the second leg of a back-to-back after playing 38 minutes the night before. It's like, well, then what are we limiting? Is 37 and 38 minutes? I mean, that's not limiting. So if you're going to get anywhere close to 40 minutes of Harden, it's just him, I think, pretty definitively ahead of Fox. Yeah. The price is obviously easier to get to Fox, and the usage and all that stuff was great. Last 2 games without Victor Wembanyama, you know, 33.8, 29.2% usage rate for De'Aaron Fox. So
Yeah, we just didn't get any assists, obviously, in that game, and that's kind of what sunk the value on the price that we got on him there. Because obviously, the double doubles and the 10+ assists in those 2 games prior helped drive the overall production there. He had 8 potential assists after having double-digit potential assists, basically in all but one other game this season. So. Opportunities for him potentially here against Atlanta to kind of improve. Hopefully upon the assist conversions. If he came out 8, we would have been, happy with it, but he only got 3. So
he also, just for a little more context there, he dominated the touch time, which I don't think is at all surprising. No. He received 20 more passes than anyone and made 10 more passes than anyone else. So just the fact that he's going to have the ball in his hand so much is just a natural cycle of will have more assists just with naturally having the ball in his hand so much.
You think so? Westbrook at 79, Ryan Rollins up to 7,500. Obviously no Giannis there. Daniels at 73. Of this grouping, where's the appeal? Where's the player you're looking to build around?
So it's 2. And it's not Dyson Daniels. No offense to Dyson Daniels. Well, I think he'll be more in play later if we find out Atlanta's
guys are out. Yeah,
guys are out. We'll start at Westbrook. He's played nearly 200 minutes without Domantas Sabonis this year, and I understand Keegan Murray's back. It really doesn't matter because Keegan Murray is who he is. It might actually help provide a little more spacing for Russell Westbrook. This year without Sabonis in 200 minutes, 23% usage, almost 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Lost out some minutes last night, late in the 4th. Just a very good fantasy player. Has entered the starting lineup ahead of Dennis Schroeder. Don't think the Keegan Murray return will do anything to that. They started Achua and they started Eubanks. So I think it's just as simple as one of those players won't start tonight and you likely get Russ continuing to start because Schroeder's played well off the bench. So I like Russ quite a bit in tournaments. I think that's a good leverage spot because Ryan Rollins is getting basically 10% more in large field stuff than Westbrook. I do like Ryan Rollins. I don't like a lot for Milwaukee because I think they overcorrected the pricing on Milwaukee because they had the extra time and there's just not a lot of appeal. It is worth talking about. I think Rollins is realistically, there's $2, maybe 2.5 that I have interest in. Rollins being one of them. With no Giannis, Porter, or Tayshaun Prince, he gets a near 8% usage bump up to nearly 32% and is averaging almost 1.2 fantasy points per minute. It's a really good spot for him. The minutes should be fine. He's been good in all the games that have been without Giannis or Giannis started and left. Nothing really bad of note. It's just a price thing. You could also get Russell Westbrook for lower ownership. So maybe it's something to explore. But I like both of those players quite a bit. Both made the playbook, both in the core play section.
Sure. You said Tayshaun Prince, just quick shout out there.
Did I say Tayshaun Prince?
Torian's obviously who you meant, but shout out Tayshaun Prince just for the
Pistons. Shout out to the Pistons. You know what? Because I got the dude. Pistons on 11-game win streak. They're not even on the slate. They're
shout out to the GOAT. Early 2000s. Pistons.
Tayshaun Prince. That's like you and your who's yours? Is it Green? No. Who do you always you? We'll get it one day. We both have.
I mess up names all the time, but yeah, for sure. There's definitely one where I say a baseball player that's supposed to be a basketball player every time. So, anyways, or it could be reversed. I might call the baseball player the basketball player name.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be.
That's where it goes. Alrighty. So that's your mid range of Westbrook, Rollins, and Daniels. There, you say no interest in Daniels unless people are ruled out. Jalen Suggs is the ownership play here. At this sort of range, really, he's got over 30%. Got the Clippers matchup. There's still no Banchero. The minutes are right where we want them to be. And I mean, this was a dude last year that we played a lot of. He was on a heater, and honestly, his injury might have cost Orlando a run in last season. So, just all systems go here with Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we were honestly waiting on was the minutes, and that box can be checked. So
Brother went 0 for 7 from 3. That's not going to happen again.
Yeah, Clippers are actually allowing a lot of threes this year. One of the most makes for opposing teams, and one of the lowest or the highest field goal percentage for opposing teams. So, yeah, I like their Orlando guards tonight, and Suggs is one of them for sure.
Quickly on Maxey for those who are just tuning in. Again, we don't know. He's probable, midday probable tag. You think there's a chance we get a little bit of a floor minutes, which is still 34.
Yep.
For Maxey, so still a really legit minutes ceiling there, or floor rather. Great matchup versus Milwaukee. Do you favor Harden over Maxey because you are concerned, or is Maxey your number one point guard still?
No, Harden's my number one.
Harden's number one.
I think his role is just better.
Okay, so you'd play. So in this question, would you just be playing Harden over Maxey?
Yes.
Would you play Fox over Maxey?
Yes.
Okay, so Maxey's number 3 for us there, Greg.
Yeah, I don't dislike Tyrese Maxey. I am fully aware of what the ceiling can be, but you don't like to see him show up on the injury report with all the soft tissue injuries that have happened so far in the NBA and the amount of minutes that he's playing. We've already seen Nick Nurse dive into this, like, let's just take a few minutes off the top, right? Like, go into a barbershop, just get the low fade instead of the like, just a little bit. We're just taking a little bit off, but like, yeah, I think it's enough that one of the allures to Tyrese Maxey is that 38, 41, 40 minutes last 3 games he's played. Like that's his superpower. So yeah, not that I don't like Maxey, but I have Harden and De'Aaron Fox ahead of him.
Where do you go next?
So I want to talk Dennis Schroeder for a second.
Okay.
I don't actually mind some Dennis Schroeder. As dysfunctional and horrendous and abysmal and all the other adjectives you can describe the Kings as, Dennis Schroeder off the bench has not really been the reason as to why. The minutes have been tremendous off the bench the last few games. The production has been tremendous. He went to the bench on 11-14. So that's 3 straight games where he's really looked good off the bench. He had a 35% usage rate last night as well without Domantas Sabonis. And this year, without Domantas Sabonis, 26% usage rate. That's 4.6 percentage points higher than his seasonal average, and over a fantasy point per minute, 182 minutes. Like, this game, although it's like sloppy because it's Memphis and Sacramento, it is probably the best game on the board. And I don't mean probably, like, Vegas is predicting it to be the best game on the board. Sure. Almost 235 implied points. Kings have the 3rd highest implied team total, despite being on the second leg of a back-to-back, only behind San Antonio and their counterparts in this one. I think Dennis Schroeder is a little bit underpriced now that we have Sabonis confirmed out. Like, I hope someone tells him, like, this is an international game. Like, maybe if someone gets in his ear and they tell him how many international players Memphis has, maybe he'll, like, sure, be the best player on the floor. But all jokes aside, like, I do think Schroeder is a little bit interesting in tournaments because, like, after him, I think it's a lot of question marks. Like, you could play Malik Monk in tournaments. That's fine. The minutes are trending up for him. But, like, hard to trust anything Sacramento. Anthony Black is someone that is interesting because it's the same scenario as it was in Golden State, but it was also the same scenario it was in Brooklyn, and he only played 17 minutes. So it is solely based on how he plays, right? He played so well that they closed with him over Tristan da Silva the other day.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not playing that well, guess what? Tristan da Silva's closing, and you're not getting 30 minutes for a guy who needs that to really, get to value. I think Cole Anthony is another one in that same boat. There is a ceiling. Like, it obviously hasn't been this elite production from Cole Anthony, he also has a monster usage rate this year.
If he just hits some shots, the assist numbers have actually been pretty decent per minute,
Dude, he has a 29% usage rate without Giannis Antetokounmpo this year. Like it's not that he doesn't come on the floor and immediately dominate the basketball. It's just, will we see him make shots? The one game he made shots this year, or 2 games he made shots this year, 26, 43 fantasy points, 16 and 23. But like this whole range is like these types of players. Black, you don't know if he's going to close. Cole Anthony, you don't know if he's going to make shots. Cam Spencer had a ton of ownership earlier today. And like, I don't hate it. I don't love it. You kind of assume that Santi Aldama is just your 5th starter as like just the easiest, sub for Jaren.
Sure.
They could go Cam Spencer. It's not like he hasn't played regardless, right? 24 minutes in a competitive game the other day. And now you're taking Jaren off the floor. Like Memphis has made it clear, Coward and Edey, unless we get word about Coward and Edey's minutes, are limited, right? They've played 26 and 25 minutes basically for a week straight.
Yep. They came out and said, the Sabonis news there, gonna torn knee meniscus, gonna be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks.
Dude, they are a nightmare. Oh my God.
So Sabonis is on the shelf for a couple of months, probably, because the reevaluation is 4 weeks out, and then they get a timetable for whatever they're gonna do to get him back on the floor. So
next time we see him, he might be playing for a different team.
Might be. The other one,
Spencer, were you talking about Iasolo?
Yeah. So sorry. So you mentioned
Coward and Edey.
Coward. They came out ahead of the last game and said that Coward would still be on a minutes limit. So the hope, obviously, is that they'll be more transparent again for this one and let us know ahead of time.
But if not, and we are going to get Coward at 26 minutes, and they're down Jaren.
Yeah.
And Edey's at 25. Like
still good enough to get there.
Yeah, there's still extra minutes for Spencer to possibly pick up.
Yeah. And if Maxey gets ruled out, do we see Jared McCain?
He's not on the injury report today. I don't know. I think you probably just see Quentin Grimes.
Field is obviously playing Grimes.
My guess would be Grimes is your Edgecombe. Grimes is probably your starting backcourt, but
it is kind of, obviously slow build to no playing, like not even on the floor for a guy that was your rookie of the year favorite last year until he got injured. So
it's so bad that he literally was ecstatic that he made a basket yesterday. In the G League. I think he played 20 minutes in that G League game that he got sent down from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to even imagine what would it be, right? Like if
he would have to start in order to have any appeal. So
and the good thing is Nurse is a guy who tells us, right? Nurse is going to speak to the media and be like, oh, Maxey's not playing, McCain's starting. McCain's limit is 24 minutes.
The only thing hurting us there is obviously the 8 o'clock start time with the 7 o'clock start time, and an hour goes by. You hope you get that news early for Philadelphia. Otherwise you're hanging on there. Yeah. We do appreciate all you guys in chat. I know we haven't fully acknowledged everybody, but Jeff in there saying good evening. Dez, Nerman saying it's that time of the month. Hopefully that means you popping into our NBA show.
I think it was something to do with the comments at the beginning of the show with the red.
Yeah, that could be true. That could be true. We also saw that graphic I shared with you where 60% of the league is injured.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're all hurt. Good evening to you as well. I think you changed your name
there. Yeah. I'm a loser till I win the Millie, who's also a subscriber. Yeah.
Love that from you. Steve in there always. Up. Greg asked us if we wanted to play Maxey earlier. Charlotte Harden always in here. Doug's always in here as well. Appreciate the consistent support from you guys. We'll get to some of these other questions at point guard here before we move on. Beside De'Aaron Fox in late game, who's the other pay up option you would play there? We will go position by position here, Greg. That late game, is what? What's the late? Did 4 games? Atlanta, San Antonio? Is that the late game he's talking about?
There's three. They're all at 8.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So which late game? That specifically?
I mean, the answer, if you're asking other than Fox of the late game, is Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
That's the only option. This is literally the only option.
It's over there. Special Master Documents is 15 minutes behind today.
We're cruising today. Also, I love the comment that you just flashed. Farrell said Cam season seemed confident and then ended with maybe, and it didn't seem as confident as the comment went. He was very confident in Cam to start, and then it was like, actually, maybe not.
I thought Maxey is probable. He is probable, but it was a midday probable. So he went from not on the injury report to mid probable, right?
No, because they don't have to release the injury report until later because it's the second leg of a back-to-back.
But he wasn't on the injury report yesterday.
No, it wasn't on the injury report yesterday. But I'm just saying,
and now he's listed today as probable.
Yes, listed today as probable. We think if you go back and listen, we think he's playing, but could be the 34-minute game that Maxey plays tonight. Listen, if you think he's going to play full minutes, then he's obviously
all out.
Raw points. He's as good as anyone else on this.
I think he said he's watching us at the red lights, which is good. Please do not watch us while you're driving.
Agreed. You can listen.
Yes, you can definitely listen. Justin in here says you're late. You're good. You can always rewind. Grande told y'all. Play Ben Matherin. Told you
every winning lineup.
8%, 10% last night. Ben Matherin.
Yeah, he ended up. I told people in here not to leak it, and he got out. It was ended up in single entry. He was 16%.
Yeah.
So
Matherin smashed.
Yeah, almost 50 ball was in every winning lineup.
Des says like the video. That is appreciated. Our goal every show is to get 100 likes. There's currently 196 of you watching the show. So we could instantly get to 100 likes if the 196 of you that are currently watching just hit that like button. It's free to do. Absolutely free to hit the like button. Don't do it while you're driving, but do it while you're in a safe space and help us get to that 100 like mark. And then Cordero says good evening and good luck. Good luck to you as well. All right, let's go to shooting guard. You have Desmond Bain up at the top here at $7,500. Levine, 69, AEW, 68, Grimes, 61. Again, not a position really to spend up for today. Edgecombe is your highest projected rostered shooting guard today. How are you feeling about things here?
Yeah, I actually like the Desmond Bain role lately. He's had a 24% usage in five straight games, 19 plus actual points in all of those, and 35 plus fantasy points in 4 of 5. Without Paolo, 25% usage over fantasy point per minute. I mentioned to you earlier, the Clippers are one of the teams allowing the most 3-point field goals per game and the highest field goal percentage from 3. Not that Desmond Bain has shot very well from 3, but he is, historically an elite 3-point shooter. So it's only a matter of time before that corrects itself. I think this is definitely a spot. I have no issue getting up to Desmond Bain. I think there's 45, 50 fantasy point upside in this spot against the Clippers. So I like him quite a bit. I like VJ Edgecombe. The numbers actually do look pretty good. Without Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey this year. And that's the part of the program that we need to focus on. It's almost a 23% usage and well over a fantasy point per minute. So yeah, he's looked pretty good lately. $6,000 is cheaper than it's been. I know yesterday was 6,000 as well. So definitely comfortable playing VJ Edgecombe and Bain would probably be the two guys that I have confidence in over 6K. Don't mind Grimes. Have no real opinion on him currently. I think if you end with Quentin Grimes, I think he's definitely fine. That obviously that opinion changes if Maxey, is downgraded at some point. But as of right now, with Maxey in and Paul George in to the mix, I think Grimes is fine. NEW hard to talk about while Porzingis and Ricochet are listed questionable, but I'd only play him
from
if those guys
a
rolled
salary
out.
perspective, it does just kind of quickly drops down, and that's kind of where the ownership is too. We have
Yes.
Kobe Sanders, Cam Spencer, Anthony Black, we've talked about, Bogdanovich, Cole Anthony, Jalen Wells. Those are all up over 10% tonight, and all guys in the 4K range. So do you have any interest in, I guess, some of the more contrarian plays at this spot? Champagny, Krejci, Green, Trent, anybody there?
Oh yeah, I'm the biggest Julian Champagny guy, and the fact that his price went up $500 really makes me want to play him. I am penciling him in. No, no. Not getting really to anyone in this range. We talked Monk, we talked Black, we talked Anthony, we talked Spencer. I do think the Clippers guys are the talking points here. We'll start at Kobe Sanders. He's the one getting the ownership. A lot of good things from Kobe Sanders. A lot of 3-point volume. That's what you're going to get with James Harden. It is worth mentioning, John, the Orlando Magic allow the fewest made 3-pointers and 3-pointers per game and the lowest 3-point field goal percentage in the NBA. So it's hard to look at Kobe Sanders and be like, oh, all he's doing is shooting threes. It's like, yeah, that's not the best when he's going up against a team that defends the three-point line so well. And we'll get to why that's really good for another Clipper in a few, because they allow a lot of points in the paint. So I think Kobe Sanders is definitely fine. I have no objection. He's going to start. He lost out on a minute at the end of the first half due to foul trouble. He looks for James Harden, so I expect them to start him again. I think my 2 cents on it though, if you're looking to differentiate and you're like, I'm already chalky and I don't want to play Kobe Sanders, you just play Bogdanovich, right? That's just the easy pivot. They're both 0.9 fantasy points per minute this year. Bogdanovich obviously has flashed a high ceiling. He's also live to DMP, but I think there's too many injuries for that.
Sure.
He's played 37, 35, 26 minutes in 3 straight games. It's a good role. So if you're just looking for a pivot off Kobe Sanders, Bogdanovich looks like the same player who's just lower owned. So I think if that's the direction you're going and you're in this range, the problem is Sanders has the better eligibility. You can play him at shooting guard, small forward, where Bogey has the point guard, shooting guard. I think you're playing them at shooting guard regardless because his position kind of stinks. But I do think Bogey is a really good tournament pivot because at the end of the day, Sanders is a rookie, right? If he's not playing well and Bogey comes in and hits a couple shots, well, we know how Tyronn Lue is going to handle that rotation probably to close the first half and possibly into the second half as well. So, I have no strong takes on either. I think both are definitely in play. I just would probably end up playing the lower owned guy, and Bogdanovich is that right now.
Yeah, Phoenix here is saying he likes Gary Trent. And again, the minutes have been fine. We saw a lot more volume out of him earlier in the season.
We got moved to the bench.
Yeah, but do you think now that there's opportunities for him to play more, I guess is the question?
I don't know. He did play more because they decided to go space the floor a little bit more in that game. I don't know. You can. He put him in the same bucket as everyone else that we just talked about, right?
He's only scoring right now, right? You're not getting any other secondary points. So
and he's not cheap.
Yeah, as I say, and at almost 5K, you need him to score 18 actual points, right?
Yeah.
So it's risky. Obviously, again, the spot could be there, but kind of limit your exposures, I think, a little bit to that spot. Small forward. From an ownership perspective, Vince Williams is dominating, as he should. He's 50% rostered. Yeah. We mentioned Coward already at 63. He's the next guy there, which means not many people. I say not many, 20%, so half the ownership of Williams is on Wagner. DeRozan's kind of going under 10%. Kuzma in the same deal, under 10% here. Vassell, George, any thoughts on sort of the top tier when everybody's playing value again?
Yeah, I mean the value is super good in this at this position, so I understand it. I think Fran's profile is pretty good. Um, the Clippers don't allow a lot of points on drives. They allow most of their damage to be done from 3-point range. Franz has been better from three lately, so I think that's worth mentioning. Obviously, he still leads the team despite how good Bane and Suggs have been, and Wendell Carter. He still leads the team in every category: fantasy points, usage rate, usage increase without Paolo. So I definitely have no objection to getting to Franz. We know a 50, 55, 60 fantasy point game is in the range of outcomes. So honestly, you need raw points. I think Franz makes sense. DeRozan is fine. I mean, like, if I were to play someone on the Kings in this price range, I think it's pretty definitively Russ, because Russ just does more. But the numbers without Sabonis this year are not bad for DeRozan. 1.2 fantasy points per minute, 26% usage. Like, I don't hate it. It's a really good spot. Memphis is a bad team. They play really fast. Like, again, this game is the best on the board. Both two teams top 10 in pace. It's the best game on the board. So more exposure, the better.
Sure.
There's I only see one player at, I think you said there was two players at 6,900. I only see Paul George. I don't see
I
anyone.
said 2 at 69.
I thought you said there was some other name in this 6K range.
Kuzma?
No, I don't have him on my board. We could just keep going past him. Not going to play PG unless we were to find out there is a significant minutes increase.
Sure.
The roll was actually really good for Paul George. The usage rate was really good. Responsible gaming, John. Responsible gaming.
Hit the wrong button. It happens.
Gamble responsibly, everybody. And then obviously, Vassell, I think is just safe. Again, it's like super subpar usage rate in this last game. The minutes were good. The everything else was good.
Filled out the stat sheet well, So
yeah, he just a safe play. I don't have like a strong inkling or a strong take on Devin Vassell today. If you land on Devin Vassell,
I think on small slates he's pretty good, because again, we're talking raw points. He does have a ceiling when the shot drops a little bit better for him than 3 of 11. So
yeah, I just look at other Spurs that are cheaper, I think, that are better, and one that is
I know you like Keldon. I know you're a big Keldon Johnson guy.
It's hard to ignore the role last game, right? Like, first guy off the bench, 30 minutes, closing lineup, played over Champagny down the stretch. We'll see if that happens again, but
I took the over 6.5 rebounds today. So,
dude, he leads them over the 2 games without Victor Wembanyama. You obviously know this. I'm sure it's in your article that you guys can find at fantasyalarm.com. Spoiler to John's article that you can find at fantasyalarm.com. He leads them in potential rebounds over the last 2 games without Webby.
Mm-hmm.
More than anyone else on the team.
Quite a few rebounds during that.
Quite a few rebounds in that available, and quite a few rebounds to be had for Keldon.
32, by the way. His assist prop today is 6.5, and he's had 32 potential rebounds over the last 2 games.
Yeah. He's really good. And in DFS, like, over 1.2 fantasy points per minute this year without Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castles. So love Johnson. We should talk Coward for a second.
We did kind of talk a little bit, but we can go more deep into the Coward talk here.
Yeah, just for anyone that hasn't, just for anyone that is tuning in now, Tomas Iasolo, head coach of the Grizzlies, came out before the last game, and said that he's limited. Him and Zach Edey, they were on some limit, and even Coward said he feels like he could play more, but it's better for the team and himself long term if he's limited. We don't know game to game. We don't know week to week. We don't have like any information on whether Coward's limit is going to continue. What I'd say is he's much easier to play on FanDuel. He's $5,600 over there, so that's like more comfortable. It's definitely fine to play. I mean, there's no John Morant and Jaren Jackson. 25% usage rate, 1.44 fantasy points per minute without Ja and Jaren this year. It's a 70-minute sample, so it's like kind of small. But it's 1.4 fantasy points per minute is no joke. So,
nice, dude, super talented rookie, like out of the jump. And you've kind of, those who don't know his story, you've kind of talked about it, right? Like a guy that wasn't heralded, highly recruited prospect, kind of grinded his way up to where he is and became a lottery pick,
Yep.
So
no, 16th. I don't think he was a lottery. I think he was outside the lottery.
That's outside the lottery. So.
Yeah. But yeah, like older player that is just like so NBA ready right away.
Oh, it's Malcolm Brogdon, right? Malcolm Brogdon came into the league and just was, just ready to get.
Did you see the Draymond video about Coward?
I did not.
He compared him to Kawhi Leonard.
Okay. I mean, very unfair thing to put on a player.
But... No, not like saying he's saying he has the Kawhi ceiling. Like everything he does, like the fluidity, the smoothness, the like.
I'm still just saying, like that's still very
yes, unfair. lofty expectation. Yeah.
And then again, Mega Chalk here. They only moved his assists up to 5.5. I hammered the over there again. It was, or 6.5, I think it was. It was 3.5 the other day. He had 9, as I told you if you watched the show. That was an easy win. We're gonna keep riding. Now he was very efficient with his assists in this game.
Yes, he was.
It's like 9 of 11. I think he converted. But the ball's in his hands a lot. He needs the point guard. So,
dude, he had 77 touches. He had 5 minutes of touch time. Just for context, 77 touches. If that was like a seasonal average, that's more than Pascal Siakam, Amen Thompson, Jaime Jaquez, De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray, LeBron James, Vucevic, Quickly, Sabonis, Morant. It's more average touches than Ja Morant, the point guard of his team, that is not there.
Yeah,
so, like that.
Easy click today.
And no Jaren. Like it just got better.
Yeah, don't overthink the Vince Williams thing. Just play it. Tristan Da Silva. I mean, again, a guy that has been really efficient scoring the basketball.
Yes,
has a role. Starts even when you said he didn't close, he still played 29 minutes in that game. Just another favorable play for you tonight, or no?
Yeah, I'm not getting here. I think it's no issue if you do. Like, I just prefer the guy is slightly more expensive than him. Okay. But I have no objection to Tristan Da Silva, because if Anthony Black doesn't play as well as he did last game, then Da Silva's closing. But that's just like a kind of a roulette thing, right? Like, we don't know what the answer is there. Not that he played poorly regardless, but you would like him at 5K to close.
Anybody else?
No, we talked Kobe Sanders. I don't think there's anything else.
Okay. Power forward. I believe Santi is currently the highest overall player.
Yes, he is.
$5,800 Santi Aldama. He's over 50% for today. Obviously, you mentioned no Triple J, so infinite minute glitch probably heading his way today.
Only reason I'm going to say infinite minute to no to the infinite minutes glitch is because Iasola's playing so many players.
Okay. And
it was only John Morant that complained about it. And then John Morant complained about it and then immediately had a calf strain.
Yeah. You have to wonder if while we're doing this show, a couple of updates came out. The LaMelo Ball is now open to being moved.
To trade. I saw.
Do you see a Memphis Charlotte deal happening here?
Just fresh starts.
Just swap disgruntled point guards.
Hot swap.
He's from the area, isn't he? Isn't Ja from that area or no?
He's from. I don't know.
I'm making that up. I might make that up. I could be completely making that up. He is from South Carolina.
Is he from South Carolina?
Yeah.
Shout out. Didn't know that. That's cool. That's an interesting one. I saw LaMelo for Domantas Sabonis floated out there.
No, not anymore. Guy ain't got no legs.
Well, yeah, that's fair. That was pre Kobe Sanders officially starting again, by the way. Yeah. That was pre knee injury to not existing. Power forward, Jalen Johnson, good at basketball. Okay,
quite good.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about this. Okay,
yeah.
So I looked at the on-off. Yes, you're right. Charlotte is definitely a poor franchise. They are not exactly.
There was a TikTok I watched where they ran through the Charlotte Bobcats like first round picks, and they're just all horrific.
Morrison, Emeka Okafor.
Yeah, just like Frank Kaminsky. Like
Frank Kaminsky. Yeah, it's all
horrific.
Yeah.
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, who was like number 3 pick or something like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just bad. Bad.
Yeah, I think that Kidd-Gilchrist draft, they had like the 1st and the 4th pick in that draft, and I don't think either of them panned out.
Terrible.
Yeah, so Jalen, I looked with Porzingis, without Porzingis. Obviously, Trae Young not included in this as well.
Yeah.
With Porzingis, he has a 24% usage rate, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Solid.
Good.
131 minute sample. Without Kristaps Porzingis, 227 minute sample, 26.7% usage, 1.5 fantasy points per minute.
I was gonna say there's not many people in the league that have 1.3 fantasy points a minute. There's obviously that there's only elite company
is
1.5 or greater.
Well, my thing was, if you were to project Jalen's minutes at like 37, right? And that's soft because he's played 39 plus in 3 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a light projection. At 1.3, it's 48 fantasy points. And this is not how it works, but this is how you can project something, right?
Yeah.
And then at 1.5 without Zinger, it's 55 and a half. And I'm projecting him 37. That's probably light in a competitive game. He's played 38, 39 minutes. So I'm not saying I wouldn't play him if Kristaps Porzingis plays. I just think there's obviously just a case to be made where he is not as ball dominant and as dominant as he's been without Porzingis, right? Like, he's still going to be the hub for this offense. But no matter how many minutes Kristaps is on the floor, we know that man is a high usage player, period. Yeah. Like, he was a high usage player with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum for multiple years, right? Like, that's just what happened. So, I think Jalen is, as baseline, very good, could be as elite as he's been if Kristaps doesn't play tonight.
I think it just, again, you're talking in this kind of slate where there's only so many teams. I would play him regardless.
Yeah. I mean, you're also getting a significant ownership discount because forward is the loaded value spot.
Right. Obviously, again, there's Santi, huge. We like Keldon. Vince Williams can be played there. Yep. Bobby Portis is 65. Any thoughts there? No.
Yeah, no. He's been quite bad. The minutes have been up and down. Again, I think they just really screwed the Milwaukee pricing. Like, even when you look at the Milwaukee numbers without Giannis, like, there's not a lot to like. It's like Ryan Rollins. It's a little bit of Miles Turner. It's the Cole Anthony usage rate, and then everything else can just kind of kick rocks. If one of them goes off, one of them goes off. But it's just they priced them. They overcorrected the pricing.
Where do you go next then? Obviously, we've kind of hit on Aldama and Vince Williams already, De Silva already. I imagine you don't have any Keegan interest in his return game. Okay.
No, there shouldn't be much of a minutes restriction because
we were getting some legit rebounding games out of Keegan Murray at the end of
early last year, and now there's no Sabonis, so I get it. He does have to deal with Russ.
Sure,
Russ exists. That he's a maniac. I'm not playing him at 64 for really in any scenario.
We had a Mogay mention here. I told you I max entered the mini max the other day and had like Mogay, 3 shares of Mogay, and he doubled in 20 minutes. If Porzingis is in, you can't play him, right? So like,
yeah, and you honestly you need Ricochet and Porzingis to sit. For Mogay, you need both of them.
All right, let's get to a couple of these questions here before we move on. Casey had the Mogay question. If they both sit, would you play any of them? He played 20 minutes in that game. So
yeah, I think he has a legit role.
Let's see. Phoenix says if Johnson's a slam, if Chris Hass was in, wouldn't it be jamming if he plays? Again, I still think you play him probably regardless.
You can.
Would you play Ryan Rollins in a single entry more or MME? Says Ken.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty popular. By pretty popular, he's overthrown Jalen Suggs as the highest rostered point guard of the day. He's the buck I feel best about.
The scoring's been kind of crazy. I did not expect to see the scoring out of him like this. Dude,
in this situation with the players that are out, Giannis included, obviously, 31% usage rate that's not to be almost 32. Yeah. Not to be messed with. Almost 1.2 fantasy points per minute. I definitely think whatever format you want to play Ryan Rollins, you can. I think Russ is the better tournament play.
Triple-double.
And in that price range, but I think Rollins is definitely like a really good play in whatever format.
Then we had this question from Greg here: Fox or Johnson for cash games? I still lean Johnson.
It's Johnson. It's a really good spot for Fox is still playing without Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. That still exists too. I understand the peripheral stats weren't there last game, and that and the price still went up, but the usage rate was still big. He dominated the touch time. He dominated the passes received and made. There's still a lot to like about De'Aaron Fox. I'll go Jalen Johnson, but it's close.
Anything else here, power forward?
No. Sohan is a person that plays minutes.
Center then. A Kongu $7,600, but again, gonna have to have Porzingis out, I would imagine, for that. So
yeah.
You hinted at a certain Clipper earlier. I imagine we're talking Zubac here.
Yeah, I am really I'm prioritizing Zubats tonight. I mentioned how the Magic were so good at defending the three. They have allowed the 8th most points in the paint this year per game. And this right here is one of the kings of points in the paint, John. He's 4th in the league per game in paint touches, almost 11 per game. He averages over 10 points per game on his paint touches, which is the 5th highest mark in the league. And he's almost at 1.3 fantasy points per minute this year without Leonard, Beal, Jones, and Miller. We've talked about it, walking double-double doesn't get his respect. This was a guy who really turned it around offensively last year, was all defense, I think 2nd team as well, got votes for Defensive Player of the Year. There's a lot to like about Zubats against the team who basically funnels you to the paint, right? That tells me we are defending 3-point shots. We will live with 2s. That is what Orlando's doing. If Zubats just too big, strong, powerful man for anything that Orlando's going to throw at him. So this is my stance today. I think someone asked about who's the Matherin of the day. I'm not saying that Zubats is going to score as many fantasy points as Matherin or have a 24-12. It wouldn't surprise me if Zubats had a 20-10 tonight. Would not shock me at all. 40 fantasy points, well within the range of outcome. 45, 50 even. I think Zubats is my guy at center tonight. I think it's a really good position, but I don't know, and I don't know if it's still, let's see if it's still held true. Yeah, I don't know why. And I guess I understand it. Miles Turner, right, is $700 cheaper and is getting 10% more ownership.
Yeah.
Right? 10% more ownership.
It's the Giannis impact, right? People see Giannis out and they flock to next player they think takes on the usage, but Right.
He
Well,
doesn't. He
that's
doesn't.
the thing, right? Like in years past, it was an auto-click Bobby Poe because we were getting 60 fantasy points out of that guy whenever there was no Giannis in the lineup. Now they have Kuzma eating minutes and barely producing consistently enough. Portis doesn't have the role he had last year. Turner's not a guy that's going to go have a 30+% usage rate. So yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I don't really like the Miles Turner spot either.
Like, I think it's fine. I literally wrote, I'm definitely fine with Miles Turner. That's how my write-up in the playbook you guys can find at fantasyalarm.com started, because like I'm fine with it. 21% usage without Giannis, that's fine. 1.06 fantasy points per minute,
Sure,
that's fine. But like fine at 6,700 and like almost 30% ownership is not like GPP winning. Like that's not like Zubats gives you 50 tonight. That's someone who can win a tournament. If Wendell Carter gives you 40 tonight at 5,400 or 35 fantasy points, that can win you a tournament. Andre Drummond, we've seen what the minutes from Drummond look like at a cheaper price tag than Miles Turner, can win you a tournament if he gets 40 fantasy points. I think Turner is fine, but I just think there's like better centers on the board than him. And he's the second true center, because Santi is obviously going to get all the ownership possible.
Yeah, I mean, your points and rebounds prop for Turner tonight just 23.5. So that's
he played 37 minutes last game. That was kind of a surprise. Like that is kind of an anomaly, and it's been kind of an anomaly. I'm not saying he won't tonight because we just saw it, but like we also just saw, we had the Gary Trent conversation earlier, right? They extended Gary Trent.
23 and 8 with some blocks.
Yeah, because the stocks. Yeah, you need the stocks for Miles Turner, which is a, he's been that guy.
I sent you the screenshot earlier. Jokic for the decade leads 4 of the 5 major categories. It's points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Miles Turner is the decade leader in blocks right now. So
yeah, it's a bankable stat. I just don't think at the ownership it's, you need, almost 35 fantasy points. I think that's obviously in the range of outcome, but I think that Zubats gets you 40. I think Drummond could get you 40.
Such a boring player right now, but
yeah, but he's just good. It's a bankable double.
Any Edie interest?
Yeah, I think Edie's interesting in tournaments. You just don't know what the minutes are going to be.
Well, 25. Yeah,
25.
The murder cornet sunk us all the other day. Guy took one freaking shot. 25 minutes.
Yeah, it was brutal. Yeah, like I have no problem going. Obviously, last game sunk the fantasy production like completely. He's 0.7 fantasy points per minute without Wemby and Castle, literally because that game just sunk him. I think when it comes to like, I'm not saying I wouldn't play Cornet because I do think that there's like a legit role. I mean, we saw him playing alongside Victor Wembanyama, right? Like they both, even Luke Cornet. I think just at this price and I would just rather, if I'm playing a Spurs center, I would just rather play Kelly Olynyk.
Anything else, I guess, before we get to Kelly? We did have a question on Wendell Carter in there. Again, minutes have been great. Just went official with Angel Reese. So, they're Facebook official now. So, maybe she's teaching him how to rebound. They go Facebook official and he gets 12 rebounds. I mean, like, is that coincidence?
I'm not going to say it's like
she's showing him how to get rebounds. You miss your own shot, get the board.
I will say that he is a very good price, and he's a 0.9 fantasy point per minute player without Paolo. This is obviously not a fun matchup. Ivica Zubac, we just talked about, defensive player of the year, like candidate last year. The Clippers don't allow a lot of points in the paint. They allow a lot of threes this year. I don't hate it. Like, I have no objection to Wendell. He is a guy getting some ownership that if I have 5,400, I think
mentioned Angel Reese one time on a show and the chat goes wild. Just 12 offensive rebounds, very live. All 12. Super live.
For Wendell?
Well, you just picked it up, learned it, learned how to rib, just miss your own layups, pick them back up. Yeah.
Did you like the player comp that fan in Memphis gave Draymond? Was it Memphis? He called Draymond Angel Reese.
I did hear that, and then Draymond got in trouble again for arguing with fans.
Do you like the player comp or no? You're the Angel Reese.
Listen, I made a ton of money on Angel Reese rebound props in my life, so I'm not gonna hate, dude. People can hate on her if they want. I don't hate on her. She's a moneymaker.
Shout out to.
There's no buy. You can't have any biases if you're in the gambling game. So I will take her rebounds, her points all day. Because she's just infinitely good at that specific thing. So. All right, let's get to Kelly O, who is also hilariously good at what he does, which is just get on the floor and do everything. So,
yeah, mayhem, chaos, whatever you want to call it. 1.25 fantasy points per minute this year without Wemby and Castle. Just kind of in there for a good time, not a long time.
Get more minutes, do you think? If he goes out there and Cornette does what Cornette does again, do they flip and he gets to 25?
I think he has a hard time in Edie minutes. He's going to get just eaten alive by Edie. Yeah, I wrote it in the playbook.
He's playing Atlanta. You mean
in a situation where Porzingis plays, it's going to be a tough ask for Kelly O. And I mean, for anyone on that team, but I just don't see a scenario where Kelly O is playing unless there's foul trouble. Because they also have the Sohan thing in their back pocket where they can go Sohan, small ball center. They also have Carter Bryant that they're distributing some minutes to in their front court.
Dude, they played two guys. I mean, I knew Carter Bryant was the rookie, but they played that other
Garcia.
Garcia the other day too. And I was like, what are we 9 guys off the bench here, San Antonio? What are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, that's scary. And that's a little bit terrifying. You don't know if they're going to do it again. This is not a back-to-back. They don't have a game tomorrow. So that's not something that at least we're going to worry about. Them being oh, they're going to play 12 because it's a back-to-back. No. But that's the one thing I think it's hard to predict. Kelly O, almost despite how well he plays, just won't play more than this. Because they have other pieces that they're willing to deploy. And you don't know how they feel. They might want to go smaller if Okongwu's your center tonight, right? Or Mo Gay is the backup center, or Asa is in the game. They might just not want to go traditional and they just spread the floor. So, we could try to predict Kelly O's minutes trending up, and I just don't think that's I would just safely put him at the 18 and 19, and that's good because that's look at the fantasy production. That's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, again, you're getting 24 fantasy points done in multiple ways there, and he's only $4,000 on this slate. So, we had the Goga mentioned as well. Again, to a lesser degree, the minutes are definitely not going to get up there, but 16 to 18, you're getting over a fantasy point per minute when he's on the floor. Any interest?
It's fine.
Yeah.
We had a couple questions. Yeah, the Cam the Man question, Nikhil Alexander Walker comment from Don't Miss. We had a couple of them.
Well, talk NAW. You're only really there if Porzingis and Ricochet sat, right?
Yeah, I don't have a ton of. The price is pretty outrageous for Atlanta. Atlanta's just got a massive price bump, just assuming people are going to be out.
Yeah. Then Cam the Man's question here was Bain and Rollins or Fox and Suggs?
I like Bane a lot because the shooting guard position's so bad. I guess it would depend on like what your other. I'm assuming in the second pairing you're playing like Edgecombe or spending down to like Bogdanovich/Sanders would be my guess. I'll go. The first one feels safer. The second one, I'll say the first one is safer. I don't know if that answers the question. But that's how I would play it in like a cash or single entry. I would play the first pairing.
Yeah, I feel like I'd probably play the first one as well, but it is very close. It seems like you say it seems like a toss up. I almost agree with you. It seems like a toss up, but I would say I guess the difference is Bane Rollins is a top 2 on each offense. Suggs is 3, Fox is 1. So, like from a usage standpoint, Bane and Rollins probably take advantage there. But
dude, I think this could like realistically be the Bane breakout shooting game. The Clippers allow a lot of points behind the arc. Bane takes 6 to 7 threes a game. He might make 4 threes tonight.
Yeah.
And we know how good he is peripherally. So I'll go the first one. Cam, I think the first one's pretty nice.
Sure. Someone on Milwaukee will exceed and most will fail. That's great analysis, Doug. Couldn't say it better myself. Someone's going to be good on Milwaukee. Most will be bad.
We think. I mean, they're priced up so much. We definitely not like if they get blown out, will anybody succeed? Other than like the 3K plays that are 0.000% roster.
Who's my favorite center under 4K? Do we have to get here, Phoenix? Like, what is your lineup?
Olynyk?
It would have to be Kelly, right? I mean, well, Achua, 26 minutes. They didn't start him in the second half of that game, but there's obviously no Sabonis. They'd probably need some size against Memphis here.
I think that this is a stay away for me because they also played Reynaud 19 minutes last night.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised Achua wasn't on it. Like
team. Well, he was. He got the Heat. Remember, he got signed by the Heat, and then they immediately released him. Yeah.
Like I feel like Precious. Like why didn't the Celtics pick up Precious Achua? Why? Like that would have been a perfect
over Tillman or Boucher.
Yeah, or Boucher. It would have been a perfect Tatum Kata backup, right?
Yeah.
But like, dude, if Achua starts again, I would give him consideration.
Well, I'd have a hard time imagining he starts unless they're using him as the center because we have Keegan coming back.
Okay.
So I think they started him and Drew Eubanks last night.
Yeah.
I would assume Eubanks starts, and then you have like Achua and Reynaud get some center run, and it's like 48 minutes split.
Eubanks, but Achua's a better player than Eubanks is. I
mean, I don't know what Doug Christie's doing. The Kings don't know what they're doing.
We're not the coach. That's fair. I mean, shot like Harden likes Goga. It's Olynyk or Goga. Goga's minutes are probably more secure-ish, but
I think the only reason you're playing Goga Batadze is your assumption that Wendell Carter gets in foul trouble.
Which, if you think that Zubac is just going to have a good game in the paint, that's possible.
I mean, that is exactly where
they Orlando also might go Goga size versus Zubac. Maybe they just want to play the size matchup.
Could be.
I feel like I don't. But like, what are you jamming in on a 4-game slate that you're forced into a 4K or under center?
Yeah, there's no one expensive. That's also the point. I don't think there's enough expensive players that you need to get there, and I also think center is pretty good. Goga's definitely a fine large field play.
Sure.
We didn't mention Harry B.
We did not mention Harry B.
He's actually, I wrote him up today. We didn't mention him. He's over a fantasy point per minute without Wemby and
This
Barnes.
is a bit negligence on our part. Nobody asked about him until Doug just mentioned him now. So,
do you want to know his FanDuel price?
$7K.
4.4.
Oh, free. I went the other way. Yeah, listen. If he's going to shoot now again, he's shooting very efficiently right now. Obviously, 9 of 14, 7 of 11. If he's going to keep shooting that way, then yeah.
Then the answer here is Harrison Barnes, but if he doesn't, it's Kelly Olynyk.
Probably, yeah. If you're going to tell me Harrison Barnes is only going to finish with 11 actual points scored, I'll take Kelly Olynyk.
Yes, agreed.
Even though the minutes are obviously significantly better for Harrison Barnes. Boucher's a better fit. Sort of. I mean, they don't play him. So I'm just saying, if they're playing Luka Garza, and they're just a bad front court, supposedly. I guess technically they're not, right? Because they don't allow points in the paint. So
they don't. They don't.
They can't shoot. All right. So Vince Williams is in. Aldama is in. We'll do Zubac.
Kelvin.
Oh, where's Aldama? Keldon small forward? He is cool.
Yeah, he's small forward, power forward.
Suggs? Probably?
Are
you like... Well, we can get to Harden, but then we'll be really cheaping for value here. Need one more play. Give me one more. Coward?
One more play.
Schroeder?
You go Desmond
Bane. Fox and Suggs was the right answer of that. Yeah, probably, right? Instead of Bane and that crew, just play.
I mean, it's close and they have a high ceiling, so I don't hate it.
Nope. All right. Full lineup goes in the Discord like it does every night. We appreciate all of you who've tuned in. 274 of you are currently in the chat. Just if you could hit that like button, get us to 100 likes, it would be greatly appreciated. It's free to do. You want to hit that subscribe button if you're not already done that as well. We go live here every day at 5 p.m. Eastern time to break down the NBA slate. We also do a preview show that gets released each night, 10 to 11 o'clock in that area to preview the next day's slate. We have live NFL shows throughout the week, Monday through Friday, and we go live on Sunday from 11 to 12 to answer all of your start-sit questions to get you guys ready for NFL Sunday. A ton of videos on site, so we appreciate all of the support you guys give us showing up. We're here for you. Good luck tonight. Get in that Discord.